y'all, welcome back to the channel. Mississippi Girl Live, a country girl prepper. Okay, so y'all see the title. The title is Grid Down, no food. Okay, so I can't even remember who you was. I gotta go back to, I don't know if you did it in live screen or under the video. You was like, where have we been? You have been going through withdrawals. Thank you so much. We just been getting stuff in order and all that type of stuff. We have not stopped with the grid down videos. We just been trying to get the stuff on the outside together. So I know I left off with what, the power stations. We did the cooking with the power station, grid down, no lights, no electricity, all that type of stuff. Also, I do have grid down videos that I have shared on my community post for those of you that is really into the grid down stuff. Right now, with everything going on with these other countries, Yemen, the Houthis, Ukraine, Russia, all that stuff that's going on, we have to really look into our resources over here, okay? And that is what I've been working on, and I'm gonna bring y'all what we doing down to the T. It's work. When you are prepping, it's work, and I have spoke about this so many times. Prepping is not for the lazy. It is work. There is things you need to know. There's things you need to do, how you need to do it. So y'all know I get canning. I have told y'all this for a long time. I used to can a lot of stuff. But the way my mind, my brain work is, in an emergency situation that you have to leave your house, I don't want to have to try to worry about getting food that I have everything in a jar. And that's what it is when it comes to canning. I've told you I prefer to freeze food, dehydrate food, okay? Still what I prefer. Everybody is different. If somebody else prefers something over what I prefer, that's fine. Because everybody's situation is different. It's just do it. Just make sure you do what works for you, okay? So we coming into the garden season, growing a lot of food, dehydrating a lot of food, okay? We are buying things in bulk. Alright, so somebody had commented, and I think I responded to you, but I didn't want to go too far in it, okay? But you asked me, was I going to be putting my stuff in Mylar bags? I'm about to answer that question for you. Now, back in 2012, 2013, I used to use the Mylar bags, the oxygen absorbers and stuff like that when I was dehydrating a lot of stuff, okay? Now I'm back to dehydrating a lot of stuff. Now, I'm not going to ramble too much in this, but I'm just giving you a little back history about what I'm about to show you. So, my thing is, in a grid down situation, the grid is down, probably no power, you know, unless you got a power station, some sort of power station, generator, solar generator, gas generator, whatever. My thing is, you do not, and we have to get to our, what we left out when we started doing our hauls and stuff. We were supposed to use the solar. We haven't even used our solar panels for that, for the EcoFlow. We have not even used the solar panel, and I got to do that for y'all, because you got to use your stuff and know how it works and what works for you in your area, what you can use if you're gonna cook with it and all that. I don't want to have to worry about, I have all this food in the freezer and now I gotta keep this deep freezer running or this refrigerator running. So that's why I love dehydrating. You're taking the moisture out, you're putting it into a dry state. Now, I don't have a freeze dryer, okay? I wish I did, but I do have dehydrators. I have 2 of them. I've owned 3. I burnt one of them completely out for using it so much. So now I have 2, okay? So that's what I'm going to work with. I'm going to work with what I have on hand, and that is the dehydrators. But at the same time, we are buying food in bulk. Alright? Now, am I using Mylar bags again? Am I using oxygen absorbers again? Yes, I am. You're probably like, well, MGL, you got vacuum sealers and you was talking about using vacuum sealer. I'm still using my vacuum sealer. But vacuum sealing is for you to have things for a couple months to a year, maybe 2 years. I vacuum sealed food from the garden and ate it 2 years later. That's fine. But we're talking about 10, 15 years. Guys say the same. I'm 38. He 43. He's 43. So we talking about guys say the same. You know, we live long lives. That can come in handy. So you want to start now, okay? We're trying to make sure stuff lasts 10, 20, well, 20 plus years. 10, I'm going to say 10, 15 to 20 years. But we talking about 5 years, okay? The way you package certain things can last 10, 15, 20 years or more. But we're looking just for extra 5, extra 10, extra 15, especially when you have certain items, okay? Certain items. All right, so there's a place for your vacuum seal stuff. There's a place for your frozen stuff. There's a place for your, if you choose to do canning, your canning stuff. There's a place for your dried, extra long and years shelf stable stuff, okay? So prepping is not just sticking to one thing and saying, no, you got to prep all across the board. All right, and that is why I have chose to go back, because what I'm doing now, I'm doing it on a higher level than I did back in 2012, 2013, 2011. Okay, higher level. These people is not playing. People is not playing. They cutting things level. Y'all pay attention to the news, you'll understand what I'm saying. So I have an order in for Mylar bags. And another thing, so yes, the answer is yes, I'm using Mylar bags again. But let me tell you what I have noticed. Aluminum. We already, what country is that? One of the countries with the tariffs, aluminum.
Yes.
It's going to affect aluminum.
A bunch of them right now.
A bunch of them. So he said with this current administration, there's a lot of them. So aluminum is expected to go up even more. Well, guess what type of material Mylar bags is? Most of them are, well, they are aluminum. When you go online and you start ordering Mylar bags, people are buying them like crazy. Now, I used to get mine from here in North Carolina up in the mountain area. All right, that's where I used to get my Mylar bags at. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to stop it right here. So, I have decided to call out, shout out three subscribers throughout my videos, okay? I'm not going to tell you when, where I'm putting it, none of that, okay? I just have decided to call out 3 each video, because some of y'all are just, y'all just ride or die. Y'all been with me from day one. Y'all are commenting. I can tell that you are into the content. You are watching the video. I can tell that off your comment. Now, I don't get a chance to respond back to y'all. I'm working on getting better at that. I try to thumbs up heart. Some of them I just don't even have time to do it, because not have time, like you're watching me and I don't have time to take that. I'm always doing stuff. We're always on the go. We're always doing this. Things are slowing down a little bit because I have so much stuff to do at home now, so I'll be able to do it. But I said, you know what, I'm going to start calling out 3 people per video that I know actually watches, is helping. You've been with me for a while. You haven't been with me for so long and then switched up on me real quick, or this, that, and the other. So those are the ones that I'm looking for. So right now I am going to shout out somebody that has been with me for a long time, okay? A long time. Be honest, this video is gonna be the first 3 that have been with me for a long time, okay? And her name is Diane Wynn. Well, her handle is Diane Wynn 7021. Thank you so much, Miss Diane. I appreciate it. We appreciate it. But so you always sharing the content. I'm gonna put her name up here, her handle name up here too, so y'all can see it. So thank you so much, Miss Diane. We appreciate it. Now I do have 2 more names that I'm gonna call out a little bit later in the video. So with that being said, let's go back into, so I used to get my Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers from a place up here in western in the mountains part of North Carolina, okay? But I was trying to get on. Now I noticed there's a place called Wallaby, but to me they're a little bit expensive, but it's a company that is very well known, okay? Very well known, all right, for their stuff. Now I didn't order from them. I ordered from somewhere else. But you'll have to figure out what's best for you and your pockets when you get Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers. I will share where I ordered from once I get my product and see how everything is. When it comes to Mylar bags, I do have a rule. I will not use a Mylar bag that's under 7 mil. Okay, that's just me. That's almost like getting plastic. When you go and we use the plastic for like the coops and stuff, I have a certain meal that I like to get 6 mil and up. I think I had to get a lower meal from Home Depot because they didn't have 6 mil, but that is just my rule. So to go ahead and get started on some stuff until my order come in, I went to Tractor Supply and we bought the Harvest Right Mylar bags, okay? And there's different ways you can seal these, inexpensive ways. All those videos is coming to y'all. We finna be, like I say, we didn't plan to have that little break, but we had to take care of the garden. We had to take care of a couple more other things. So we always seem like we behind, but that's a good thing. But God's will, we on running. And I am doing, well, I most of all the time post every day.
Just don't look way behind.
You probably can see a little bit behind us. I do have another food pantry tour that's going to be coming up video because it has expanded just in the past couple of weeks, okay? So I do have that's going to be coming up. But what was I saying? I forgot. Oh, so I went and got the Harvest Right Mylar bags, okay? And I thought I was saying something else, but I got off track. Maybe I remember. Oh, there will be videos that will come up of different ways, inexpensive ways that you can seal them, different little tricks. There are so many things you need to know about a Mylar bag. And I'm going to give you just a couple little things to get you started for if you want to get off of here if you see this video and then go order you some. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the information about that. I like to use Mylar bags that are 7 and up. Okay, 7 and up. And you know the funny thing is, I always have talked to y'all about learning skills, knowing them, even though you may not use them right then. But when that time for you to use it, you already have that information and that knowledge. And that's what I did with my couponing. I did it with my dehydrating. I did it with my canning. I knew how to can because of my granny. So I already knew that from a child. But there's always new things that you learn, and your situation stuff may cause for you to use different things and all that. So you can always still learn stuff in any field. But a lot of my knowledge and stuff is because I've already done it. We did moving when he was active duty. I learned a lot of this stuff when I was at home with babies, and you know, doing different things. We lived on base, so it wasn't much I can do for a garden. I could not grow outside of our screened in back. I couldn't grow on the outside, so I had to grow in the inside, base rules and all that. So I learned when it came to dehydrating. I learned all that stuff. So now that it's the time we're more settled in, we're not doing moving and all that stuff. Now it's like, okay, I don't have to go and research and just learn because I already have that knowledge. I love learning skills, whether I use it now or or I use it later. I can learn something, do it a little bit, stop doing it, and go back to it when I need to. And that's kind of like how I am when it comes to, well, that's how I am when it comes to my dehydrating and all that stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and call out another one. So the next person on my list is Mr. P&G Media News 1942. Okay, so P&G was one of my moderators. No issues with him or anything like that. It's just that it's just a lot easier to just not have a moderator or anything. But he still supports the channel. He still be watching. He still be interacting. And he still be getting people straight. And we like that, even though he don't have a wrench. It's nothing to him for not having a wrench. But to keep down a lot of confusion and actually be able to watch my channel and know when I reach out to YouTube, I don't get that, well, do you have a moderator or this, that, and the other. I just wanted to cancel all that out, so when something go wrong, I don't have to, you know, look into that for, you know, or have that as a response. So now if something happens, be like, no, I don't have one. So what else, you know, what are the other things that it could be or whatnot? So that right there is the reason. Nothing to Mr. P&G, but he is the next name that I want to shout out in this video. So thank you so much, sir, for being down for me. Been here for a while. I think since 2021. You jump right in, you dive right in, and you just you know, kept. Anytime that I had to contact you personally, anytime that I had to text you or call you, you was right on it. Like you understood the assignments. You was like, yeah, you showed us nothing but love. So thank you so much. So, okay, let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so I have the Harvest Right Mylar bags. Like I say, I need to go ahead and get some stuff. What?
They can see it better. I'm blocking them.
Oh, okay. The Harvest Right Mylar bags. So I went on and got these from Tractor Supply. And they have this because they have the Harvest Right freeze dryer, but that's too rich for me right now for as just going all in on it, but in due time. But like I say, I'm happy with my dehydrators. They're not a freeze dryer, okay? It's not a freeze dryer, but I know one day I will have it. Work with what you have. That's my point. Work with what you have. Be thankful what you have and make it work, okay? So these are the 8x12, okay, Mylar bags, and I'm gonna show y'all how they look. They should be 7 mil. I don't see it on here, but Harvest Right, most of theirs are 7 mil, and I can tell by the thickness they are thick enough. Okay, so like I say, I will be showing y'all how I seal these. You the proper way is an impulsor sealer, but you don't have to have an impulsor sealer. I'm not going to tell you I won't get an impulsor sealer. But I am going to definitely show you how to seal this without one using a flat iron. Okay, so I will say that. Just in case somebody want to buy these and go ahead and buy them a 1-inch flat iron. That's only for this, not your hair. Because I have one that's for, that I had for when I had longer hair or the kids' hair or whatnot. But you want a brand new one that you ain't put no grease and nothing on your head and use that. Just one specifically for your vacuum sealer. I mean for your Mylar bags. Now they do have different type of Mylar bags. This one does not. These does not have the zipper. You have the ones, most of them have a zipper, but some don't. Harvest Right, this particular ones don't have the zipper, okay, but that's fine. You can still put your stuff in it and seal it or whatnot, and we'll go through all that. Okay, so if you buy some that's in your budget and don't have a zipper, that's fine. Okay, you really don't have to have one. Okay, so the Mylar bags, also the Mylar bags, you can't vacuum seal these. I do have a trick to get these vacuum sealed. It's a little bit of extra work, but I will show that in another video on how you can vacuum seal these. There's different ones. You do it at your own risk. But the reason why they can't be vacuum sealed just like this, because if you go and look at it, if you have a vacuum sealer and you see the vacuum sealer clear bags for vacuum sealer, like the Food Saver bags, on one side it has a groovy, rough part. Well, that's the part that allows your bag to be vacuum sealed, okay? It allows the air to come up through the little grooves and it can seal it. With the Mylar bags that don't have that, it don't pull air, okay, using your vacuum sealer. It will seal. I have a food saver vacuum sealer. It will seal, but to me it's just not as strong, and I think it's because the heat is not high enough on the vacuum sealer. So there are different ways. We will be showing y'all that. But yeah, this is the Mylar bags that I have right now, but I will have more once my order come in. Also, with Mylar bags, I used to love using these oxygen absorbers. You don't even have to use oxygen absorbers in Mylar bags. I used to mainly use mine for mason jars. Y'all know I love my mason jars. I love my glass to use at home, not to bug out, because you don't want to. That's why I say with canning and stuff, you want to have dry goods and stuff that's already broken down in your bug out bag, ready to go. Okay, you don't want to have to try to let me try to put this tomato sauce and all this stuff in canned jars. That stuff gonna pop, break, knock around, you know, and it's heavy. Okay, you want to compress stuff. All right. So these are my oxygen absorbers. Huh?
I closed it off.
Oh, okay. And I got these from Tractor Supply too. Now, this is how they come, alright? And it say it's 50 absorbers. To me it look like it's more than 50 because it comes in a box like this, okay? And they are individually packed. Now, what I used to do with oxygen absorbers back in the day is when they came in a pack like this, I used to put all mine in a mason jar very quickly after opening the bag, because the more that the oxygen absorbers are exposed to air, the less efficient they become. Okay, so you see this little thing right here, little color, little pink, this is a little indicator letting you know that these are good. As as you open this and leave this out or whatnot, or put this in another bag that may not be tightly sealed, this little marker right here will start to change colors, and that's an indicator that your oxygen absorbers are going bad. They're becoming less effective. So we will talk more about that. We will talk more about that in other videos. Okay, so I did get these. So I cannot remember what I paid. I think I paid close to about $50 for the oxygen absorbers and the Mylar bags. Okay.
For them.
Yeah, for these particular ones right here. We will do videos. This is a 50 pack of Mylar bags. Okay. So you're probably like, MGL, well, once you put your stuff in the Mylar bags, what are you gonna do? I am gonna put them in food grade containers. Okay. But like I say, it's a process. So let's talk about this. When do you want to put your stuff in Mylar bags? Well, after you have already started with the prepper pantry. Okay, you want to make sure that you have at least a year worth of food. I say though, at least 6 months worth of food already stored, that you're rotating, okay, before you go into Mylar bags. It just makes sense, okay? In our case, y'all know we do hauls where we go find stuff on clearance. That is for our year supply. If something go wrong, we want a year supply of food. Are we at a year supply? Probably not with what we have with 5 people in the house. So we're still building. But it is time for us to do Mylar bags because we buy in bulk. Now, the way we do it, everybody does their things different. This is what's best for our household. We have all this stuff, you know, that we know we can eat within a year. This one. But when we find good deals, like when we went to Costco and we find 25-pound bags of flour like this, I think this is what, $8.99?
Yeah.
That is a good deal. Now this flour, we're gonna break it down, put it in Mylar bags, put it in food grade contain buckets, and we're gonna put that back for the 10, 15, 20 years. Okay, that's what we're doing with our bulk items. Now we go to the store and we find flour on sale $2 or something like that. That's for up here. That's for up here.
Over there.
Oh, you know, that goes in our rotating thing. But when we find these deals, these sales, 25-pound bag of flour for $8.99. This is our Mylar bag stuff. This is what we're going to be putting back. So you're doing both now. You're doing both. Okay? Everybody would do it different. So this is why it was time for, I stopped doing the Mylar bags way back then because we was moving a lot of stuff and it wasn't bulk items, you know. So now it's time. Now it's time. Okay, so we got that, and then another example of the reason why we say it's time is because we have, you know, when we do our Dollar General, our $25, 5 off $25, so you pretty much get $20. Those videos that you seen us doing, we have videos we gotta get out. We ain't stopped none of that. It's rocking and rolling now, okay? Because we got that garden together. That's what been holding us down. But let's see. When we find, like, this is brown rice on sale. This is for us to use now and rotate from our working pantry to from our extended pantry to our working pantry. When we get those 5 off $25 Dollar General hauls that we do, and we get these 5-pound bags of rice, that's for our year supply. That's for our rotation. Anything that we get now, if we buy pasta and just say it's so good to where we buying 100 boxes of pasta because it's 10 cents. If we get to something like that and it's 100 boxes, we ended up with, you know, 200 or 300 pounds of pasta like that. Yeah, we'll Mylar bag some of that. But as long as we getting stuff like this marked down, that's for our extended pantry to rotate it to our working pantry, okay? But this right here is another reason why we're doing Mylar, because y'all remember seeing this? This is a 25-pound bag of rice. And we got that from Costco, 25-pound bag of rice for $10.99 on sale at Costco a couple of weeks. And we got 3 bags of this. That's 75-pound bags of rice. That's 75 pounds of rice just in within these 3 bags. So yes, it's time to Mylar this rice, okay? So like I say, we will show you. So once you, if you want to buy Mylar bags and have them on hand, that's fine. If you want to buy them and Mylar some of your stuff, that's fine, okay? I do have cereal and stuff that we have now in the working pantry, but like I say, if we find a deal of cereal and stuff and they are low moisture, because you want to put low moisture items in your Mylar bag. Something else that people don't know about Mylar bag, you want to put your oxygen absorbers in there to take out air, but a lot of air is nitrogen, okay? So you know how you can put an oxygen absorber in a bag and it still look like it has a little air in it, but it's sealed good. You got enough oxygen absorbers in there, but it's still good, but it looks like it's kind of blown up, because that's not necessarily all the time air. Is nitrogen, okay? So do your research on what I'm telling you. Anytime you know, get something off YouTube, do your research, and that'll explain a whole lot. Don't mean that it's air, but you do want to make sure that you are putting low moisture items in your Mylar bags to use the oxygen absorbers, okay? You don't want botulism. You don't want botulism at all, alright? So with that being said, let me go ahead and shout out the next person. The third person, the last but not least, that's going to be shouted out in this video is Miss Latika Osby 8165. Okay, she don't say much. She come in, but she say hey or something like that, but she's been with me for a long time. So thank you so much, Miss Latika Osby 8165. I appreciate it so much. So thank you for, you know, being a good supporter. Okay, and if I missed your name, like I say, I'm gonna do this from here on out every video. Okay, so the mister didn't say too much, so I'm gonna let him, you know, give his take on. I think back then when I was using the Mylar bags and oxygen absorber, he would come home from work and look like what is she doing? I mean, like, look, I ordered me some more oxygen absorber. You like, okay. But now, you know, I'm gonna tell them what you think.
Well, I mean, when you look at them, there's benefits to them. You know, they have 3 layers of protection against moisture, light, and odor, and they're good for not just food. A lot of people, when you see them being used, most of the time it's a food item, but you can also use them for personal effects. You have any important documents that you need to be waterproofed, you know, birth certificates, mortgage, Social Security, you know, your inventory of your supply, things of that nature. You can put them in Mylar bags, seal them. You can put them in a safe or anywhere that, you know, you feel that you're storing them. And overall, they expand your capability to sustain your family. So, like, you know, you see the working pantry, you see the pantry. Outside of that, you get a chance to expand it. 2, you also get a chance to be like space saving. Like when you putting this on a shelf, this is a big bag, and we have 3 of them. So it's taking space that can be used to store other things. So when you break this down and you store it in Mylar bags, you start to create more space for more things. And it's just like the flour as well. And at the same time, you also got to be careful with the material there, and you don't want things puncturing them. Now it's not protected from those other elements, your moisture, your air, your light. So they become very effective. Also, I will tell you, if you're in an area that has bakeries, things of that nature, Sam's, Walmart, Food Lions, any grocery store that has a bakery, reach out to them, see if they give you the buckets. Ours is stingy. I say it this way: somehow they never have available buckets. And obviously, if you look into it, you really understand why. This is a town that's heavy on the military background, heavy on the older people. So there's a lot of prepping going on. So behind the scenes, when they're at work, they done with them buckets, they're calling somebody to come pick them up. The second thing is, what is it? Firehouse Subs. We've been able to get 1 or 2 buckets from them, but again, they store their buckets. I guess the way he described it to me is when they're done with them, their pickle buckets, they put them out in front by the chip bag for our location, and people come in and they
sell them, but they got a lid on there.
And they come with a lid. Whereas, you know, you go to these stores, you got to buy the bucket, and then you got to buy the lid separately. So if you're able to get some of these bakeries to save them buckets for you, they're gonna work, especially when it comes to saving up space. And with the buckets, you can find a corner and you can stack them. So you can go up with them, vice, you know, sitting here where the rice and the flour is taking over half of the space, whereas in a bucket is minimized. So look into it. I don't know if you want to tell me how to find the ones you're going to get on Amazon.
When I get them, I
Okay.
go through those.
So-
One thing I do want to say about oxygen absorbers too that I forgot to tell y'all. This these right here says 700 cc, and cc means cubic centimeters. So it tells you, for depending on the size of your Mylar bags or your jar or whatever the case may be, it tells you how many cubic centimeters that each oxygen absorber can cover. So you know, if you have a big container, you may have to put 2, 3, 4, 5 in that one, because of how many, you know. So when you see a number and it says cc, that's cubic centimeters. So I have forgot to tell y'all that also with Mylar bags, it keeps the light out. Okay, that's another thing. It keeps things, you know how they say put things in a dark, dry space. Well, that's kind of hard, you know, if you ain't got no basement or something like that. Mylar bags does that, and they have came out with black Mylar bags too. So I mean, they do the same thing, they just black, you know. Mostly they're the silver, yeah. So it does the same thing. So yeah, cosmetic look. So yeah, so that's another good way. And some people be like, well, I could just vacuum seal it and put it in a dark thing. Yeah, you can, but for a person that has vacuum sealed for a long time, when I had, remember my dehydrated herbs that I dehydrated, and I vacuum sealed them.
Just used the last one last year.
And and I had vacuum sealed them, probably about 6-7 years ago. No, it would have been, about 6-7 years ago, and I vacuum sealed them, and we just used the last of them. It was so many herbs, but when you vacuum seal it, you know, it compresses down, it's flat. After so long, like a couple years, even sometimes depending on what it is, a couple of months, the air slowly start to seep in those vacuum seal bags. So that's why they are really good for things that you're gonna freeze or short time food storage. We are looking for long-term food storage, okay? So that's why we are going through the Mylar bags. Now, a lot of people probably ain't to that extent, and that's fine. Don't spend your money on something that is not going to be beneficial for you. That is just where we are right now.
Yep.
And y'all know he loves, so I was waiting for the word sustain. Y'all was in the comment section talking about sustain. I told he should get a shirt and put it on there. He loves that word, but that's what we're trying to do. Sustain our family, sustain, you know, our household with the things we need. And yeah, you can use those Mylar bags for important information, so many different things, and we gonna show you. We gonna show you how and what we use them for, how we do. I'm gonna show you all of that, okay? We rocking and rolling, okay? So grid down situation, you want to think about, especially if you got power stations and stuff, what is important for me to use it on? Because you may, like we have the solar panels, we have not used our solar panels yet, but what if it's a day that is rainy and not sunny at all, but we're having an issue where the grid is down, there's no power, nothing, and the juice that you have in your power station, you want to use that for, you know, important, maybe, well, if the grid, I don't think you're using no cell phone. So for I don't know,
You got other means.
other means, but I'm saying like what would you, other means like what?
Communication.
Oh, with the walkies or stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, you know, what would you, like, say people that may have maybe diabetics and stuff,
Yeah, you can
and they
use
need
the
medication to say,
oxygen tanks and
yeah,
things of that
you want to use your power station for that type of stuff. If you're in that type of situation, you may be able to get a mini refrigerator and just run it for your medicines, for whatever the case may be. But you don't want to have to use that so much for food if you don't have to.
mini coolers that plug into
mini
They can
coolers.
use, especially for the insulin that has to be refrigerated.
You want to focus on using that juice from that power station for that stuff. You are elderly person or family member, don't even have to be elderly, anybody with any disability that needs power, you want to be able to use that until you can get some sunlight and charge or get power to that power station. You don't want to be worried about, well, I got all this food in this deep freezer and I don't have no dry food, nothing I dehydrated or anything that I can just, use a little bitty machine to boil some water and rehydrate some and have a meal. Pour in some noodles and let it sit and have a meal. You don't want to worry about having to use your power station for things that really could be avoided, and a lot of times it will be your deep freezers if you solely putting your stuff in the freezer. Now you're trying to work every day to keep that thing, it'll only go so many days. You may have a week or something if you don't raise that lid up, but then you gotta try to get it back in. It's going through different temperatures, so even though it's staying frozen, it's slowly dropping, so you got to prep in different ways, and it's just what it is. It's a whole job and a whole lifestyle within itself. So we're not gonna keep you any longer. You got anything else to say? So with that, I hope it was helpful. I hope it answered y'all questions, and we're gonna leave it right there. So expect videos, okay? Oh, that's what I was gonna say and I forgot earlier. So I normally would put up, but I've been slacking, not my fault. Been busy getting other stuff together, but y'all know I'm one that normally would post daily. Sometimes I have posted, well, I have been one sometime to post 2 or 3 times a day or whatnot. I'm a daily poster, okay? But I do fall off, okay? So I am gonna try my hand, okay, and keep going no matter what, and try to do Vita for April, okay? Those of you that may not know what Vita is, it is Video Everyday April, okay? So you have Vita in April and you have it in August. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to do that. So I'm going ahead getting back in the room. It should not be hard because I used to post daily, like every day. But now that I have the other channel, it's like okay. So make sure y'all have your notifications on and all that good stuff, because we just gonna, it's not April, it's almost April, what, next week I'll say the same, but we're posting now because times are critical, okay? We need to be doing and learning as much as we can, alright? So with that being said, we're gonna end this video right here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so be notified each and every time that I upload a video. And we will see you in the next one if it's God's will. Y'all be safe. Until next time. Bye. Mwah. Love y'all.